This is Learning with Coach History. This is the first of 3 lessons in Southwest Asia, the Arabian Peninsula. Vocab: Islam, Muhammad, Mecca, Mosque, Theocratic, and OPEC. The modern nations of the Arabian Peninsula are Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, and Yemen. In the past, some towns in this subregion were trade centers for desert caravans. Others were ports where goods were exchanged. Goods came from many places. They came from East Asia along the Silk Road, from South Asia across the Indian Ocean, and from Europe across the Mediterranean Sea. Still other towns were near desert oases or situated in fertile lands along major rivers. Nomadic desert dwellers called Bedouins moved across the peninsula from oasis to oasis. Their fighting skills would eventually help them to spread a new religion that developed in the region: Islam. Islam is a monotheistic religion based on the teachings of its founder, Muhammad. Muhammad lived part of his life in the city of Mecca. Mecca is the holiest city of Islam. Islam united the people of the Arabian Peninsula. Certain religious duties are required of all Muslims, which are followers of Islam. The basic duties are called the 5 pillars. By performing these duties, all Muslims practiced a similar culture. The 5 pillars are: 1. Faith in Allah; 2. Prayer, 5 times a day, facing Mecca; 3. Charity; they must support the less fortunate; 4. Fasting; Muslims do not eat or drink anything between sunrise and sunset during Ramadan, the Islamic holy month; and 5. Pilgrimage. All able Muslims are expected to make a pilgrimage to Mecca at least once. Prayer or worship may take place in a mosque, which is an Islamic place of worship. Armies of Bedouin fighters moved across the desert. They conquered lands and put Muslim leaders in control. Arabic language and Islamic teachings and culture spread across Southwest Asia. It continued across 3 continents: Asia, Africa, and Europe. The governments of lands controlled by Muslims were theocratic. This means religious leaders controlled the government. Rulers relied on religious law for running the country. In all the modern nations of this subregion, the legal system is wholly or largely based on Islamic law. Towards the end of the 1600s, the leaders of Muslim nations were weak. At the same time, European countries were growing in power. Much of Southwest Asia came under control of Britain and France. However, only part of the region was colonized. On the Arabian Peninsula, a daring leader named Abdul al-Aziz ibn Saud was gaining power. Abdul al-Aziz consolidated power over large areas of the Arabian Peninsula in the name of the Saud family. By the end of the 1920s, only small countries on the Arabian Gulf and parts of Yemen remained free of his control. In 1932, the whole area became known as Saudi Arabia. Descendants of Abdul al-Aziz still rule Saudi Arabia today. The principal resource in the economy of the Arabian Peninsula is oil. Arabian Peninsula nations make almost all of their export money from oil. In 1960, A group of oil-producing nations formed the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, also known as OPEC. The purpose of OPEC is to help members control worldwide oil prices. Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar, Iran, Iraq, and the United Arab Emirates are members of OPEC. OPEC is a powerful force in international trade. During the 20th century, the Arabian Peninsula began to modernize. Use of Western technology and machines changed traditional lifestyles. Trucks, automobiles, and motorcycles have begun to replace camels. The traditional open-air markets, called bazaars or souks, are being replaced by Western-style supermarkets or malls. Cities were always a part of life in Southwest Asia. However, the area has become more urbanized because of changes in the economy. In 1960, the region was about 25% urbanized. Today, fully two-thirds of the population live in cities. As the economy switched to oil production, the types of jobs changed. Workers who could read and write and had technical skill were in great demand. Nations scrambled to upgrade educational systems. Despite rapid modernization, some aspects of Muslim culture remains the same. Women cover their heads, hair, and sometimes their face with a scarf or veil. They believe this is pleasing to Allah. Women's roles have gradually expanded during the 20th century. More Arabic women are becoming educated and are able to pursue careers in other nations. Faithful Muslims stop their activities to pray at the prescribed times. In some countries, traffic stops during prayer times. If a person is not near a mosque, he or she may unroll a prayer rug on which to pray. On Fridays, the Muslim holy day, Muslims assemble for prayer at a mosque.